Rodolfo Loaiza Ontiveros.
Yes.
And he's somebody that came to my attention through an artist that we showed named Don Fritz, who had been working in Mexico in a collaborative show with a museum in Monterrey. And he came across Rodolfo, saw his portfolio, and Don had done implementation of pop culture characters, and specifically the work at Disney, and saw what Rodolfo was doing. Rodolfo had kind of taken it in a very different direction. When Rodolfo uses iconic imagery, he does it exactly. He doesn't change it to make it his own. He does it exactly as the original character would be, and just changes their circumstance. So when you look at one of Rodolfo's paintings, it's almost like a still frame from a sitcom. And a television sitcom, by its very definition, is a situation comedy. And so you take a normal situation, or a normal family, or a normal cast of people, and you make their situation unusual, and that's where the comedy or pathos comes from. And in Rodolfo's work, he's definitely not doing it for a cheap laugh. He loves the source material. And especially if you talk about the princesses and heroes of this particular type of work and this particular body of work, he has nothing but the utmost respect for those original films, for those original characters, and for the emotion that they caused in him as a child when he saw them. And he knows that that causes a similar strain of emotion in everybody who sees them, that we all have shared experiences. Part of pop culture is that it is mimetic, and that you recognize the same things about the work that another person recognizes. He's in his 20s, he's from Mexico, he's from Monterrey, and so he got really, really good at recreating a lost style. Okay. This show has oil and acrylic paint, and almost all of the backgrounds are oil painted backgrounds, which is the same way that animation backgrounds were done at the very dawn of animation. And so you see characters that originally were presented in a digital format, and it's interesting to see a painting of a digital character. But it's also interesting that he's got characters that are flesh and blood performance characters from live action films interacting with the animated characters in the context of the live action film. What he hasn't done so much is to take live action characters into the animated world. And if you look at his body of work and you see how that happens, the possible exception is the Freddie Mercury portrait, where he's pulling the sword out, and so rather than being born king, he's born queen. And a lot of what Rodolfo does is very friendly to lesbians, gays, bisexual, transgender people. Well, I think that this exhibition is important because, aside from the fact that his technique is impeccable, that when he does these characters, he does them perfectly. If you've seen the original drawings from the people who animated the original films, he's really gone back and he's painstakingly recreated the backgrounds so that the environment that the characters live in is perfect. And even the pieces that sort of float where the characters don't have a background, he's captured certain idiosyncrasies inherent in the animations themselves, so that when you look at them, you get nostalgic, but you know what you're looking at isn't there. And I think it's important that he's able to do these two things. But as an exhibition, I think the exhibition is important because it touches on, at this moment in time, he'd been working on this show for a year. And in the time that he was painting the pieces that are titled Tales of Equality, equality happened. And good art of any type, whether it's film, or music, or sculpture, or paintings, or drawings, or poetry, is a mirror of the culture in which it is created. And obviously, this art would not exist without mirroring the culture that it captures.